If you're watching this video, that means that you want to learn how to host your first charity auction for causes that are near and dear to your heart. First off, yay, that is so exciting. Second off, I'd like to introduce you to Tiltify's Auction House to help make things easy. So stick around for this video where I'm going to walk you through creating your own Tiltify Auction House, starting at getting registered for it to adding auction items and more. Friends, my name is Jess, and I've spent the last decade of my career in nonprofit fundraising. Okay, you got me, whatever. The only decade of my career, but it's been in fundraising. I fundraise professionally and for fun using my YouTube and my Twitch content, and whether I'm hosting a charity stream or an auction for fun, I use Tiltify. So first things first, you're gonna need to get yourself registered on the Tiltify website. This literally takes just a handful of moments, proving that you're a human with a CAPTCHA test and grabbing a code out of your email. After that, you'll be able to fill out your fundraiser profile and then request access to the auction house. You can do both of these things on the Tiltify main page. To get access to the auction house, you'll want to click on auction and then click on auction house request. You'll fill out some verification information, including your name, your address. You'll have to put a photo of a government issued ID, as well as a description of what you might include in your first auction. You're not going to be tied to these items. Tiltify just wants to know what you have in mind and what you might be offering for your first auction, as well as a potential start day. The site says that it could take up to 5 business days, so if you want to get started right away with an auction, make sure you fill this out ASAP. Anyway, once you get access to the auction house, you can go ahead and create your first auction. You'll search for your charity and you can join a fundraising event or a fundraising campaign if you want. Neither are required, but you might get some cool incentives if the charity that you join has a cool campaign going on. You're going to start by naming your auction. That name is then going to become your URL. If you're having a bit of a brain fart, that it's completely okay because you can change both your name and your URL at a later date. You're also going to want to add in an email address so bidders can contact you if they have any questions, and you'll also want to add in a goal for your auction. I haven't seen this show up anywhere on either of the auctions that I have created. I'm not sure if this is something for Tiltify to look at internally or if this is going to be a function later as Tiltify Auction House is new to 2024. Typically, winning bidders have 1 day to complete their payment, but you can edit that to give them more or less time if you'd like. You can also automate the second bidder to win if the first winning bidder doesn't pay in time. Tiltify does require folks to put in a credit card if they want to bid on any items, but sometimes credit cards don't go through or the payment doesn't go through. So having an automatic fallback, I think, is a very good idea. Finally, after you've set up all of that information, you're going to publish your auction house. So your dashboard is going to give you general information like the latest bids, the link to your auction house, how many items are active, the item report, which you'll need when the auction ends, and stats like total raised. Again, all of this is going to show up when the auction has ended. Under the branding tab, you'll be able to completely customize your campaign page, including colors, fonts, and even sections that show up on your campaign or your auction page. I typically don't mess with mine because I think that the campaign page looks pretty nice already. I'm also pretty lazy, I'm not gonna lie, but if you have a certain brand that you want to maintain, this is definitely worth taking a peek at under the design tab. Under the social links tab, you guessed it, you can add all of your social medias. And under the overlays tab, you can create different overlays if you want to add these to your stream as a browser source. I personally would suggest adding the auction items widget to your stream to show folks what you have to offer, while pairing that with a blurb about the auction and the URL to your chatbot that goes off in chat every 15 to 20 minutes. After you've created your perfect overlay of Tiltify items, be sure to test your alerts, save the changes, and then copy the overlay URL into your broadcasting system. Under the next table, you'll actually add in your auction items that folks can bid on. The maximum length of an auction is 31 days. I think the sweet spot is giving folks 2 to 3 weeks to bid on items so they have enough time to get the word out and to do a little bit of back and forth bidding, but not too long that folks forget about your auction. Industry standard for Starting bids is 30 to 50% of what the fair market value is for that item. So let's say your first auction item has a fair market value of $100. You could then set your starting bid anywhere between $30 to $50. Of course, you can set your starting bid at literally whatever you want. Fair market value in a nutshell is the price that a buyer would pay a seller at an open market. This is important for the auction because a bidder who wins an auction item will only get a donation receipt if their winning bid is over the fair market value for the item. For example, your first auction item has a fair market value of $100 and the winning bid is $110. That person who made the winning bid will get a donation receipt of $10, whereas if their winning bid was $60, they wouldn't get a donation receipt because the amount they gave was less than the fair market value. Anyway, that's enough of that. Next, you're going to choose if it's a digital item or if the donor needs to write in their address. You'll give the item a description. Here, I suggest writing out a nice full description and make a link to the donor, the person who is donating the item. You can include a short description next, and you can even add in 1 to 4 photos if you'd like. 1 is required. If you have a legal copy, you can add that in too, or any rules that might be associated with an auction item, and then you are ready to publish your item. If you want to make all of your auction items first and then publish them all at the same time, you can do that too. Plus, if there are any items that you really want to give the spotlight to during your auction, you can highlight them. You can actually change which items are highlighted throughout the auction, so if there are items that aren't doing so hot, you can highlight them to give them a helping hand. Winning bids will show you what items are waiting for payment, as well as items that already have their payment received, along with information for the donors like address if they want a physical item, as well as their email address. You can also go to the Rules tab to invite a coordinator or a moderator to help you set up and maintain the auction. So there you have it, folks. That is my walkthrough of how to use Tiltify's Auction House. If you still have questions, you can book a consultation with me on my Ko-Fi page. I do these for charity bundles, streams, and auctions as well. And don't forget, if you like the intersection of charity and gaming, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more fundraising tip videos and charity streams. But first, be sure to let me know what charity you're going to support when you make your first Tiltify Charity Auction House.